It's hard not to fall immediately in love with Apple's new line of iPhones. They finally made a play in the phablet arena, and after a weekend's use, I'd say they've ticked off just about every complaint I've had about the phones. Did they put their best foot forward? Enan here from Udroid Mania with 5 areas where I believe they did. Finally, Apple has crossed the 4-inch threshold, moving into full HD. And while their previous Retina display was nothing to laugh at, the simple fact of the matter is that we live in a tech world driven by specs, design, and functionality bringing up the rear. On the iPhone 6 Plus, the display has been bumped up to 5.5 inches, that's 1080p Full HD and 401 pixels per inch. Personally for me, having a large HD screen with more real estate, that's the perfect combination for better gaming. And if you've been watching my channel for some time, then you know that I like to read on my phones. And this includes my daily news so that I can stay up to date on what's happening in the world, as well as some leisurely reading. I mean, I need my books and my magazines for those times when I have a moment to spare. And with my Kindle app, like I said before, it's like I'm a walking bookstore. And on the way to and from work, I like to unwind with a great movie or TV show like Dexter. Have you ever seen that before? For me, it's a personal favorite. I gotta watch it. Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think of that show. And next up, we have easier communication. Our phones are capable of so much nowadays that it's easy to forget its most basic function, making calls. This is one of the things that I always felt that Apple excelled at. Calls remain clear on both ends. And in terms of proportions, I actually don't mind the size of this phone. What do you think? You be the judge. We can now install third-party keyboards just in case you're not happy with the standard keyboard included with iOS. And this is something that was long awaited by iPhone users. You can now add voice messages to your text with ease by pressing on the mic here and talking. When you're done, you swipe up to send or to the left to delete. Holding down on the camera button allows you to add from your recent photos or include videos. Simply find the one you want and select it. I like the fact that you can reply to messages by swiping to the left and tapping on reply. This little feature here is going to save you loads of time, and it's very easy to use. With all these updates, communicating with your friends and family is taken to the next level, especially if they have an iPhone as well. You'll also notice that the more you use your phone to type, the better it becomes at predicting who you're talking to and the type of language that you should be using. This means that the recommendations will get better and you'll actually end up typing faster. And for me, that's a great thing because everyone knows that I'm the typo king. Then there's the bigger battery. And this was one of my biggest complaints about Apple and iOS. But this weekend I was able to game, read, watch TV, look at YouTube videos, listen to music, and I tell you, this battery just wouldn't quit. And I gotta say, I'm thoroughly impressed. And then we get to the camera and OIS. And although this isn't my full review, I did want to go ahead and do some test shots now on the camera. I mean, we all take photos on our cell phones, and you can take comfort in knowing that Apple has improved upon its 8-megapixel shooter with OIS. And as you'll see here, the 6 Plus handles the various lighting conditions rather well. With each photo, the more I reduce the lighting in the room, the aperture needs to remain open just a bit longer so that the image can be fully exposed. And what this means is that if my hands are not fully steady, then there's going to be motion blur in the photo. OIS is what helps to reduce this. And as you can see here, these photos don't look so bad, but again, we'll get more into that in my full review. So just go ahead and hit that subscribe button now so you'll know when I post up the review. And finally, we come to the design, and with Apple we expect nothing but premium products. As you can see here, the phone fits nicely in my pocket. It's barely even noticeable in my opinion. And in case you're wondering, you'll also see that you can fit your hand in there without any issue. And I still have ample room. You can also see here that this phone closely resembles an iPad mini, and I actually like that a lot. This phone is a lot larger than the 5S, and I've really enjoyed that as well. Because of the things I like to do on my phone, the 5S for me just didn't work. And now that Apple has a 5.5-inch display, and they fixed most if not all of my complaints, I definitely have to consider if this should be my daily driver. Now keep in mind, I'm saying all of this without having tried the Note 4, but I'll have that in October when it ships from AT&T, so my final decision will be made after testing that. I know that I've only had this phone for one weekend, but so far I feel like this just may be Apple's best iPhone they've ever made. Alright, so there you have it. These are 5 things to love about the new iPhone 6 Plus. If you've enjoyed this video, then do leave me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and comment. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.